Here's 4 tips to scoring more takedowns in a wrestling match, or just in your whole career. You know, specifically the upcoming season. It's July. Headed back to wrestling camp. Had the day off, and I'm running the live tonight. Number 1, you want to hold position. If you stay in a bent over wrestling stance, that allows you to, number 1, be more explosive and powerful. A track runner in a poor stance is not a fast track runner. So you want to be in a world-class wrestling stance. Feet wide, touch the mat, don't let them read your shirt, keep your right pec over your right knee, keep about 60% of the weight on your front foot, right? That's your stance. And you stay down there. Well, also what that does is it keeps your opponents from getting to your legs. I can't take you down if you're constantly in on my legs. Well, sure, I can through defense, but we don't want to score that way unless we absolutely have to. So just by staying in a stance, you're going to score more points, right? Because a good stance, we call them, there's 5 power positions, right? On your feet, the power position is your world-class wrestling stance, your deep way forward stance. Squared stance is only for circling. We stay out of a squared stance. You know, 98% of the match we're in a staggered stance. So, but a great stance does 3 things. Makes you faster, makes you stronger, and limits what your opponent can do to you. So make sure you're staying in a wrestling stance. Number 2, you want to master 1 setup. If you're focusing on getting to a leg attack, which is what most of us are focused on, right? Focus on 1 setup. A lot of you watching this, you know the mechanics of leg attacks. You've been wrestling for years. That's the reason you're pecking around the internet trying to get better. You already know a lot about wrestling. Well, focus on 1 setup. And your setup comes from what? 1 tie-up. So you want to focus on getting to that tie-up 700 times in practice. You know, obviously you're not going to do 700 times in practice, but that's what we say in our, we're just like, you want to live there. So you can't hit your setup. If you're an elbow control guy to a high crotch and you're wrestling inside tie, the first thing you do is collar tie with your left arm. You're like, dude, you told me you like to score from an elbow. Why are you collar tying with your left arm? You know, you should be forehead to forehead, left arm fighting for an elbow control. Fight for the tie-up that your setup comes from, right? So master 1 setup. We had a kid, he's made the state finals twice, didn't win it the second time, and he's got another shot coming up. I was talking to him, I'm like, dude, the past month leading up to the state tournament, you should have hit your best setup 3,000 times before the state tournament. You really want to become world class at 1 setup, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is you want to get easier practice partners so that you can get more execution time. Getting a lot of stalemates. If I'm wrestling 3 partners today and they're all 3 really, really, really good, even with me or better, you know, we like to get partners who are way better, partners who are even, and partners who we can destroy. That's the 3 partners you want to get. But if you're struggling with pulling the trigger, it might not be a technique thing, it might be a psychological thing, because you haven't had success. Every time you attack the legs, you get beat. Well, grab some easy partners. Spend the next 3 days, say, I'm grabbing easy partners, Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And now, I'm trying to get 100 leg attack takedowns up practice. That way you get execution time. If you're working your butt off and you only get 9 takedowns today, and you get taken down 4 times, and you get 27 stalemates, that's not doing you very much good. It's causing you to be gun shy, and your wrestling can get stagnant. So a lot of times, you know, if our parents and coaches are always pushing us to grab the best workout partners, it's really counterproductive, especially if you're someone who feels like you're in a slump, right? Another thing I would like you to do is focus on your shot to finish ratio. Think about how many times, especially when you're watching your matches, right? Go back and evaluate your matches and say, okay, I had 4 matches, I got to the legs 17 times, I got 7 takedowns. Well, 10 times you were in on the legs and didn't score. Or maybe you weren't in on the legs. So we know our philosophy, everything we do is systematic, as you know. Everything is kind of scientifically broken down because what gets measured gets accomplished. So we try to measure everything. So if I get into the legs and let's say a single leg and you don't sprawl, that's a 100% shot, 0% sprawl. If you sprawl a little bit, let's call it 75-25. You sprawl a lot, it's 50-50. You sprawl a whole lot, it's 25-75. I got 25% of what I wanted, you got 75% of what you wanted. If I take a leg attack and I get caught in a front headlock, I'm not even past your head hands defense, I'm not forearm or elbow deep on your leg, which is where we least want to be, then that's a 0% shot, 100% sprawl. That's not good. So start evaluating how deep you are in on the legs too. But look at how many times you get in on the legs and how many times you finish. Now, if you get in really deep on the legs and you don't finish, then it might be maybe you could call a scrambling position where you just might want to work a lot of situations. You know, I might wrestle live for an hour today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and I always start deep in on the legs, then my partner goes, right? That way, I'm getting live wrestling time from there in minutes. You need wrestling minutes from these critical positions. Sometimes in wrestling, we just wrestle. Well, you know what? If the one sticking point, like, you know, if I'm a baseball player and have a hard time hitting a curveball, I'm going to spend time in the batting cage just doing that. I assume a batting cage, they can throw a curveball. I actually don't know very much about sports. I assume that's the case. I only want to worry about that. You know, I may go to the batting cage 5 days in a row after school for an hour. I don't care what it costs. I'm going to do it, and all I'm going to do is hit curveballs for 45 minutes, 5 days a week. I'm just going to focus on that one thing. And so, you know, if you're getting in, if you're not getting in deep on the legs at all, well, then you need to work your setups and level changes. But if you're getting in deep and not scoring, you're like, hey, you know, I could probably have finished almost all of those leg attacks, right? So maybe your setup needs to be better. Maybe your level change needs to be better. Maybe you need to focus on deep right knee, right? We talk about deep right knee. Maybe you want to really focus on getting shoulder deep on the leg attacks. But your shot to finish ratio, you want to study that and say, how many times do I get in? How many times do I finish? If I'm finishing, why? Where was I at? If I'm not finishing, is there any common theme here? You know, can I spend time getting a lot of wrestling minutes just from that one isolated area? Maybe it's a drilling technique, so I'm in that isolated area and I'm just going to hit. Every day after school, I'm gonna grab my workout partner and go to the high school wrestling mat or youth wrestling mat, and I'm gonna hit 50 reps of this finish, or these 2 finishes from, you know, maybe your opponent's key locking on the ankle, and, you know, now you have 1 or 2 finishes from there. Maybe you learned it from us or YouTube or something, and you just work that one technique finish. Then you get into live wrestling, and you're starting there in live wrestling, because now you have the technique tools from there. You've drilled it a lot, and now you're trying to get wrestling minutes from there. So there's 4 good tips for getting a lot more leg attacks. I would even say quadrupling your leg attack, your takedowns. Without even doing half of this, you can double your takedown percentage. Too often in wrestling, we're looking for a new move, right? Dude, what you're doing is good, you're just not doing it good enough. But if you evaluate some of these other areas, your stance, right, etc., I think you're going to find that you can have better success. You can check us out at purlerwrestling.com if you have interest. We've got, I don't know, 700-800 kids flying in all summer. 120 kids a week on average for 8 weeks straight. Got about 1,800 athletes we're training nationwide with our private team camps. We teach our system to teams, and nationwide we're starting small group training camps. So if anybody can get 12 of their friends, and we can fly in and do a small group, super intense effort. So we're working on private small group camps. But we have a lot of opportunities. Our online wrestling academy, world's first ever. It's mind-blowing how that turned out. So you can go to purlerwrestling.com, click training, click online training, and you can check that out. People from even other countries are signed up for that. So check us out. Otherwise, good luck. Enjoy the video, and good luck to you guys.